Ask your smart speaker to wake up with BBC Radio Cornwall.
Welcome along to the evening show. It's just before 8:15 now, and a second children's book has been published, which explores a magical person from a Cornish mine that scares children to sleep. The character is called Mr FlannelFoot, and the new book is called The Sleepover, which is part of the Epic Adventures of Mr FlannelFoot series. It was written by neighbours Foz Foster and Vic Gandy, who are both with me now. Evening to you both.
Good evening.
Now, when were you last in? Was it last year or the beginning of this year? I can't remember.
I would say it's around 7-8 months ago.
So it was the beginning earlier this year then.
Yeah.
It just seemed like I'm terrible with dates and times. And there's a lovely story about you two working on this book, isn't it? Which involves the fact that you're neighbours, really.
Yeah, and it was during a lockdown, and we met at the fence, and we were repairing the fence, and I said to Vic, I've got and Vic told me that she was going to Falmouth University to study art or studying art, and I said, I've got this character, and then she came out the next day and drew him, and I went, that's him. That's him. And it was amazing, and it's just we've just launched it from there, really. It's really, and I said it last time, I used this word journey. We're on this journey, and it's a lot of fun. We've done a lot since we've seen you last, and it's been an amazing ride, really.
Yes, so tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. I know one of the things is talking and kind of letting children know about your story as well, haven't you? What's been the reaction?
It's been fantastic. So we mentioned last time we were here, if you're a school, contact us and we'll come and read to you, and a couple of them did. So we've been to a youth club in Coldrose, read to the children there. And it's been a terrifying bit because we've never done this before, and we've gone into these groups, but it's been absolutely fantastic, because what I failed to realise was how clever and smart kids are and how inviting they are, and they really embraced us, and we read the book and we said, I made a mistake first of all. I said, ask us any questions you like at any time. And that's why people say, wait till the end. I made that mistake, but the questions we got were fantastic. So the reactions were amazing, and we were kind of terrified the first one we did, but I think we could go to the O2 now and read to the O2 with that's how much we've grown in the last few months. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what about you, Vic? Do you get a lot of questions about the drawings and the character as well, how you came up with what Mr FlannelFoot looks like? Because he's not,
he's not your average.
He's not your average book character, is he?
No, I get quite a lot, especially from children that are really interested in art and illustration. I get a lot of them coming and speaking to me about the colours in the book, especially. A lot of it is purple, and obviously Mr FlannelFoot is
You're both wearing Mr FlannelFoot t-shirts.
We are wearing
Very nice,
Mr FlannelFoot t-shirts.
You could see, love them.
But I designed Mr FlannelFoot with Ian's description of the character, and he hasn't changed since that first initial sketch, but the detail in his world around him obviously has got a lot more detailed, and I've got a lot more interesting characters, and the new one's got quite a lot more faces in it this time.
It has, yeah, and a bit more colour as well, because of the
a lot
new
more
faces.
Pages,
yes.
a lot more illustrations.
And can I mention, I'm just going to, I don't know why, because it's radio, but you sent me the copy of the new book. Inside, the most beautiful purple kind of bag that you've created from cardboard and painted it. You are so clever.
Thank you. It was so much fun to do.
It's got a little clasp in it and everything. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it works like a backpack. I almost put straps on it, but I thought I'm going to post it, so maybe not.
It's amazing, but obviously it carries on the theme of purple a lot for Mr FlannelFoot, because he's got a slightly purpley face, hasn't he?
He's slightly purple, and he's got like a sketchy look to him. So even his suit has got like white sketchy, almost like chalk marks all the way through.
Foz has got a Mr FlannelFoot hat on.
Yeah, and as modelled by Foz, the FlannelFoot hat has got it's got the white.
Proud wearing it, doesn't he?
On. Yeah.
It's got the white sketches. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy. I'm obviously an artist, and I really enjoy making these things, and the props I really enjoy making. And the backpack was a really happy afternoon doing that. Really enjoyed it.
And how did this story come about then? The sleepover at Foz. Where did that idea come from? Because As I mentioned, it's hard to kind of describe Mr FlannelFoot other than the fact that he can be summoned up when children don't go to sleep, can't he?
The
and he lives in a mine, doesn't he?
Yeah, he starts off in a mine. So there's six stories. So we're on to the third one now. So this is the second one. And he gets zapped into their rooms when they won't go to sleep. The parents summon him by saying his name twice into reflection. That's saying a phrase. So Mr FlannelFoot will come and visit you. And then he appears. Now, the parents really don't think he's real, but he is real. So everyone out there that loses socks in your dryer or your sock drawer, Mr FlannelFoot takes them because he steals their socks.
We've got a lot of missing socks in our house.
Yeah, it's him. It's definitely him. And the story came from just experience, sleepovers when you're a kid. And then we kind of drew from our experiences and made it funny and mysterious too at the same time. So and Mr FlannelFoot, he's such a nice guy, but he's kind of lonely. So he likes the fact that he goes and gets zapped into the rooms and zapped out. He doesn't like getting zapped out again, but he really likes the socks.
Yes, he's in it for the socks, isn't he? And so in the sleepover, we meet some new children, don't we? That don't well, first of all, they want a tent. We're not going to give away too much of the story, but they want a tent for the summer holidays, don't they? So that they can have a sleepover in it. Yeah. And it kind of all stems from there, then, this whole story, doesn't it?
Yeah, because he gets zapped into their rooms, but in this story, he's actually outside and he uses the shadows of the trees and the tent. And a cousin called Edward comes over and all chaos ensues and more socks go missing, and there's a badger that speaks, and he's grumpy.
Particularly because Mr FlannelFoot has a bit of an odour problem with his feet, doesn't he?
That's the thing, yeah.
It's lots of fun to draw the odour problem.
I was going to look at there's a lot of green when it comes, kind of a grey green, isn't it, the odour?
I have it labelled on my iPad as smelly feet green.
Oh, did you? Did you create it specially, that colour then?
Yeah.
Did you? I'm looking in particular, there's a very funny story with a picture with a cat in it when it gets near to the smell of it as well.
Poor Edward's gone cross-eyed, the smell's so strong.
With a peg on its nose, yeah.
Exactly. So that's kind of the funny bit of it as well, isn't it? And I found this one, I said to you when I first saw you, this one not quite as terrifying as the first one, because the whole concept of Mr FlannelFoot to me was a little bit like, whoa. Yeah. But this one it's kind of not that scary, is it? And that's it kind of, I get the impression that you don't want him to be a scary character.
See, my grandmother told me this story, and she kind of terrified us. And
she sounds like a scary lady.
Yeah, she's very scary. So we thought, how are we going to do this? Well, we can't make it too scary because we want him to be slightly scary but more fun. So as the story goes on, it becomes more fun and not scary. And there's a connection between one of the characters and the Gran in one of the stories, and it kind of develops from there. And he desperately wants to be friends with everyone. And he doesn't like the fact that he does like taking the socks, but he doesn't like the fact that he takes them really. So he's a nice guy. So we've toned it down quite a lot, and it's the reaction we've got from when I read it at schools is they kind of giggle a lot throughout the story. So that's the reaction we wanted, is to make them laugh.
Yes, because who wouldn't laugh at smelly feet and those kind of things? That's the kind of things that make children laugh, isn't it?
And the cats' names are pretty funny too.
Yes, we're not going to give it. But one of the things I was wondering with you, Vic, so how long does it take you to illustrate a whole book like this? Because there's quite a lot of illustrations, isn't there? How long?
A long time. So when we had the first book, as soon as we finished the first book, I started illustrating the second book. But yeah, on average, each illustration has taken me around about a week to complete.
Really?
But it depends on the illustration. Sometimes it's a lot quicker. I'd never drawn a badger before, so that took a little bit longer.
It really does look like a badger.
Thank you. And obviously I had already some images that I could tweak and reuse. I think the longest one was probably the one in the children in the tent when they were asleep. Yeah. And
not the one with them in the sleeping bags.
No, not that one.
No.
I think it's the one with Amy, they've got their hands over each other's faces, trying to make it look like they were proper asleep. took me a while.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how do you do your illustrations? Do you do them by hand or on the computer?
So majority are done on an iPad using Procreate. So yeah, it's all digital mainly. Every now and again I'll take something, draw it, and then take a photo of it and put it on my iPad. So yeah, it's all digital.
It's quite a long process, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's lots of fun, lots of using references. You'll see me running around taking pictures of things around the hill and stuff. A lot of the references I used for the tent and the countryside was all taken real near where we live at Great Work.
Yeah, so you
Helston.
live near an old mine works, which is why kind of the character is based there, isn't it?
Yeah, he starts off there.
But no, it's amazing that you kind of have to go out and look for these things. So you want to make it as realistic as possible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love
find
your
a badger though.
Oh, you wouldn't really want to, would you? They're a bit grumpy, aren't they? One of the pictures I particularly loved is of the dandelions.
That's my favourite.
When they've that they look beautiful as well. When I don't even know what the bits are called when you.
I call them spores. What did you call them?
Dandelion clock, and then the little I suppose it's spores that go off.
Amazing.
But I had about 6 reference shots for that to try and get it really right, because it's a real close-up picture of a dandelion,
which you don't get to see normally, do you?
And I wanted to get it really, really good. So, and also lots of dandelions in my house. So.
Well, nothing wrong with a few dandelions.
Using lots of them, yeah.
Exactly. And there's a very funny reference here about men using instructions or not using them as well when it comes to the tent and things. But there's a really interesting bit. There's these purple orbs, aren't they, that Dad has found, and they've put them in the garden and they glow purple. And we kind of think maybe that's some connection, don't we, to Mr FlannelFoot from the beginning?
Yeah, so he uses mirrors to travel, so a reflective thing. And these orbs came from the mine. I think Dad was going around with a metal detector, found them. And that's how he, normally in a room, it would be a mirror that would get him to come in. But because he was out in the garden, we came up with this idea about they were found at the mine, and he uses those to get, he kind of blurbs out of them. And that's his way of getting from his world to ours.
I like it.
The orb was very difficult to draw.
Oh, was it? Oh, did you?
Only a little bit of swearing was involved in.
Did you have to? Did you have to? Is that just from you being happy with it, or did you have to ask
because
if he was happy?
Almost like a 3D to try and get it looking very shiny and round was really, really difficult.
I'm always happy. Every time Vic sends me something, I go, "That is awesome." Yeah, awesome.
Oh, well, that is. And do you love doing it, Vic?
Oh, yes, I absolutely love it. Yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I've been an artist since I was really little. I got my first easel when I was 4. So, yeah, I love painting, love drawing. But this journey's made me really excited to do even more. And I feel like I'm really improving. I feel like my skills getting really good and my details really improving as well.
And it must be lovely then that you've been out and about talking to children who love your drawings as well. That's, an extra layer of special, isn't it?
Yeah, seeing some really enthusiastic little mini artists. They always come running up to me and asking me. There's a split whenever we go. They get the Ian's, the Foster's fan club, going to him when he's been reading, and then the ones that are really arty and like the pictures and want to talk to me about them and the colours and things as well. Yeah.
And they ask amazing questions too. Really, really great questions. The kids, when you say, "Okay, ask me a question," and they ask you, and they come up with ideas too, and it's amazing. The whole thing that we're doing is going to the kids is a real big treat for us. And we've tried to reference too. Well, we do reference areas like Granny Polly Lane is mentioned where we live. The mine and a cottage that we know who lives in is one of the buildings that we use. And there's a place called Bowgie that we reference too. So we're using local connections as well. And Tracy from Porthleven Harbour Hedges.
I know Tracy, yes.
Yeah,
Tracy
she's
Sargent,
lovely.
yes.
Well, she's named a hedgehog in the 4th story, and that's a great connection there. And she picked one out. I said, "Can you come up with a name?" So I can say it's going to be Miss Lillian. And if you're listening, Trace, she's going to be lovely.
Like Tracy is. She's lovely, isn't she?
Yeah.
She does amazing work.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So you're already well ahead, aren't you, in the book writing?
Yeah. We're learning. So we're learning, but it's we're trying to bring everyone in as well, just so that everyone, I guess, they feel involved, but they're part of it, And it's just a great trip, you know.
And are you still available to go into schools and give talks and things as well?
Absolutely.
If you've got,
Yeah.
obviously, time allowing.
Yeah, we if anyone's listening and wants to come to your group, a youth group or a school, we would really love to do it. And can I tell you a funny story about going to a school?
Oh yes, please.
So Park Eglos said, "Can you come in?" And there's a lady called Tricia there who said, "Come in." And you're only going to read to a class, and this is like our second reading, and you know we're kind of still a little bit nervous, and Mrs. Banner, who's the head teacher, said, "Bit of a change of plan when we got there. It's going to be the whole school." And you know, it was like, "Oh no!" It was terrifying, but it went really well. So, so we can handle pretty big audiences now, and so we take props, and we do questions and answers, and it's amazing because we are generally there for about 30 minutes, and it feels like 30 seconds. Time really flies.
Fun.
Oh, it does sound like fun.
Kids are great.
Now, before you came in today, you sent me some music, didn't you?
Yes.
So we're going to play that in a minute, but we need to get an idea of. This is like you've got lots of fingers and lots of pies, haven't you? Tell us about how this all came about.
Yeah. So we thought, well, let's have a theme. So we've got some people working on it. You know, we're not big, but they're friends, and they came up with this theme, and we launched it all on iTunes, on Spotify, and it's available for download. And then we met this amazing guy called Simon at Drama Express Group in Truro, and the guys there, the people he works with in this drama group, said, "Can we add our voices to it?" And I said, "Oh, that'd be fantastic." So we went there 2 weeks ago, recorded their voices, and they are now in the second version. So it's called the Drama Express Remix, the FlannelFoot Theme. And it's incredible that you can go to your digital assistant at home, your Alexa or whatever it is. I hope I didn't set yours off at home when I said that there, by the way. And play the song. And by the end of this week, the Drama Express version will be on iTunes and Spotify. In fact, 150 different music platforms.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
I bet that they're very good at whatever they turn their hands to at Drama Express.
Yeah, and I said I would do a shout out to them. So hi guys, we love you. You're awesome.
No, they are brilliant, aren't they? So we're going to play. It's kind of an instrumental, isn't it? Well, and then they appear towards the end of it, don't they?
Yeah. So but there is a chorus which goes all the way through. But yeah.
So this is the Drama Express remix.
It's time for Mr FlannelFoot!
What's that smell of peace in the air? Please go to sleep.
No, no. Is he real? How's this not quick?
Don't forget, Mr FlannelFoot will visit you.
What was that?
Your feet stink. You are a smelly one. And without all your socks and panties, kids.
we were all dancing to that. In case you've just come in the middle of it, that is the Drama Express remix of Mr FlannelFoot's theme tune. And Foz and Vic, who've created Mr FlannelFoot, the images and also the story. Remind us again about how this came about. Just some friends of yours worked on that, didn't they?
Yeah, so a guy called Medwin Goodhall, who lives near us, he's got a firm called MG Music. We're lucky enough to know him. He helped us with that. He puts in touch with this guy called Tim Rock, and that's his real name, by the way. He's really
What a
cool.
great name.
Yeah, I know. And he performed that and sang on it. And then when we met Simon from Drama Express, they offered to put their voices, so we remixed it with their voices on it, and they are so anxious to hear it live. So I think when it does go out live onto the music platforms at their houses, it's going to be played a lot.
Oh, they'll be really excited by that. And just lovely to hear kind of like the atmosphere that it brings, having their voices in the background as well.
Yeah, we had so much fun. So we went to their place of meet, which used to be the youth club or boys club in Truro years ago when I was a kid. And we read the book, and then we went with them in a different room, and they were all queued up and wanted to, do these different words, or say the words from the book, and it was so much fun doing it, wasn't it?
Really enjoyed it, and such a lovely group of kids as well. So we had great fun, and they were really good. We didn't need to do any extra takes or anything.
They're very
really
talented.
Yeah.
They know their stuff, don't they?
Yeah, it was everything. Not we're experienced in takes, but it was one go bang. They were all perfect.
So what next for Mr FlannelFoot then? I mean, you've got to have a range of flannels for a start. That'll be the next
We've got a few T-shirts on Etsy. Yeah.
We thought about socks. Yeah, we'll bring some socks in. We've got some mugs. We've got an Etsy store where we sell FlannelFoot merchandise.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you can get your own T-shirt.
I'll have a look at that as well.
And there are organic T-shirts, are they? Or
these ones aren't, but the children's ones are.
Yeah, so the children's ones are organic T-shirts, whatever that means.
So this is a whole. Well, it just means it's responsibly sourced, isn't
good,
it? I think
that's nice. Yeah.
No pesticides on it. Isn't that organic?
And of course, we've got the next book. As well, so we're just working on them because there's 6 in the whole series. So we'll just
you're going to be really. He says 6 now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, the play thing is really exciting. So that's.
So you haven't mentioned that on the radio yet.
I didn't.
We can't say too much, but there might be, might there?
There might be a play next year, and that's as much as I can say, right?
It might be a play version of Mr FlannelFoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's
really
amazing.
Exciting.
Yeah,
that'd be great to see.
Yeah,
I think it'd make a really good play.
It would. Yeah,
I do as well, because I imagine Mr FlannelFoot, the character, would be quite something to watch, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's got to be quite tall because we have a FlannelFoot a cutout, and he's 6'2". That's his real height. So back when he was around, before he got zapped into a different place, he was very tall for back then, and working down a mine.
Oh, of course, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah.
So you do put quite a lot of thought into it, don't you?
Yeah. And shall I say,
a lot of research, a lot of talking, a lot of things going behind the scenes.
And I can say that he has flannels wrapped around his feet because he's so poor. When he worked down the mine, his boots fell apart, and he used those to hold them together. But that's why he can creep around now, and you can't really hear him.
And the weather we've got at the moment, it's just perfect FlannelFoot weather, isn't it? Misty.
Yeah.
Dark.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, do you know where we live? It's misty almost all the time, isn't it?
Especially, at the moment.
Yeah.
Can't see.
So we can leave FlannelFoot Land. We call it FlannelFoot Land now.
Is it going to be renamed on the map?
Renamed,
FlannelFoot Land.
So Tregoning Hill's for sale, and if whoever buys it, if they could rename it FlannelFoot Hill, well, that would be lovely.
And stick a big statue of FlannelFoot on there. That would be ideal.
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing?
It's not too much to ask, I don't think, is it?
No, I think
it's...
Yeah, that's only reasonable.
Sorry, we're going off it complete the other way now. So this one is called The Sleepover. Where can people buy copies of this and the first book as well?
Right, so it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's basically online at the moment. So we are working with shops is kind of a tricky process. But if you put it into a search engine, it will come straight up, Amazon, and it's very easy to buy. So Prime, I think you get it next day. And Amazon are fantastic at getting them shipped out really quickly.
And you've got a website as well, haven't you? A FlannelFoot website.
MrFlannelFoot.co.uk. And you're on there, actually.
Am I?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that when I was having
recordings on
Yeah.
there.
Oh, when I was having a look earlier. And that's a good way of contacting you as well about school visits and everything as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So they can, if it's just so easy as putting that FlannelFoot or the Epic Adventures of Mr FlannelFoot into a search engine, you'll find it straight away. And we'd be delighted and ecstatic to go to anywhere to read the book, anywhere. And,
Well, within reason, anywhere. I mean, well, you don't want to.
Depends, really. If
We
you
get
want to pay me to go to Hawaii, I'm there.
Right, okay, so you really would be delighted to go anywhere. Right, okay. We wish you the best of luck with this one. It's such a fun idea.
Well, thank you.
And slightly spooky, but I'm slightly less spooked by it than I was the first one, I think.
Glad to hear that.
Right.
Which I think was a good sign, because obviously I'm that right age, aren't I, that it's aimed at the book. But I think the adults will have fun reading it along with children as well, won't they?
Yeah,
because there's a kind of a few little jokey bits in there that they will like as well.
A bit of comedy, and they can relate to certain things that happen, especially when it comes to missing socks, because I tried to find a pair of socks today that were pairs, and I just couldn't do it.
Well, no, honestly, I've got so many socks that are missing in the house. I really don't know where they are.
Well, when I see Mr FlannelFoot later, I'm going to ask him if he's got your socks.
And now I won't sleep tonight. Thank you. Thank you for that. So lovely to see you both again. Thank you for coming in. So the book is called The Sleepover, and it's mrflannelfoot.co.uk for all the details, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And thank you so much. I mean, it's amazing to come to BBC Studios, and it's such a lovely place, and the people here are fantastic. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. No, you're both lovely as well. Really nice. Really good to see you again. Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you. That's Foz Foster and Vic Gandy talking about the book, The Epic Adventures of Mr FlannelFoot series, and The Sleepover is the second part.